Welcome to the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast with your host, hailing from Kokona, Wisconsin, riding a CST Tires SSI decals traveling back Yamaha YFC 450R, four-time ATV Motocross National Champion, number 25, Cody Jansen.
What's up, everybody?
We're back.
Welcome to the latest edition of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, episode 168 of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, presented by our title sponsor, CST Tires, in stock and available for purchase today at shop.csttires.com. I'm your host, Cody Jansen, saying hello to our nearly 293,000 monthly Digging Deep listeners in all 141 countries in which you are listening, and this is our highly anticipated part 2 of our latest conversation with legendary 8-time series champion Chad Wienen. In part 1, we went deep on his unforgettable walk-off win. In part 2, we zoom out and dive into a full career retrospective, asking the kinds of questions you can only ask once a rider has truly closed the book on full-time competition. This conversation was an absolute blast, a fitting exclamation point to one of the most remarkable careers our sport has ever seen. We pick things up as Chad puts the finishing touches on his final appearance for Team USA at the Quadcross of Nations, so sit back and enjoy. This one is special. But first, let's quickly shout out all of our incredible partners. CST Tires, go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, Valvoline, DID Racing Chain, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, DP Brakes, Impact Solutions, and Ultimate Poly Products, UPP Racing, our choice when it comes to case savers, chain sliders, intake manifolds, and more. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP15 at uppracing.com. Support all the great companies that support us, and for any products that fall through the cracks, click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. It's that time of year, the off season is here, and both you and your machine could use a little TLC. No matter what off-road gear or parts you need, Rocky Mountain ATVMC has you covered. But before you buy, simply click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner on our website. By using our specific link, we get a percentage of what you buy on the back end, enabling you to help us out while purchasing the parts you need anyway. And did you know you can buy OEM parts from Rocky Mountain ATVMC as well? Yep, shipped conveniently right to your door. So click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner at diggingdeepatvmx.com to help us out while satisfying all your gear and parts needs. Shout out to all of our donors, and if you are interested in donating and hearing your name on the show, you can find the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee donation links on our website. Major thanks to all who have donated, of course. Now, if you can't donate, but you still want to help us out, you can leave us a rating or review on iTunes and Spotify because that helps us out a bunch too. Now, it's showtime. The 30-second board is up, it's sideways, and the gate is down. Time to dig deep.
Let's go!
You know, I think each of us had our own issues that, kept us from bringing it home ultimately.
I assumed that was exactly where you were, because again, we know where you're at in your career. That really was like the last, real professional showing that at least was on the schedule. I know you well enough, and we had enough conversations this year that it was like, Chad's not going to risk it all. And you're exactly right. We all went into it thinking it was going to be enough. And the way that the track developed, it wasn't there. But there is a world where Joel doesn't crash and get pinned under his bike, and all that stuff happened in that first moto. And the whole day is different, and you're not playing catch up, and there isn't so much emphasis on every single ride from every single guy. And we walk out of there with a win. Because everything goes a little bit more our way, Yep. So it's just the way that it played out.
Oh yeah.
But again, I would assume, to get back to tying a happy bow on this, I would assume that was pretty awesome to be able to pull, the red, white, and blue jersey over your head one more time. Because again, in 2024, I'm sure it really hurt to not be the guy doing that and have to stand there and watch it go down. As much as I'm sure you were happy for Brandon. And what was it like to run the 4 snows, Chad? Because still to this day, I can't believe we saw 4 snows on that quad of yours.
Yeah. I'm actually flipping through a magazine. I remember when I was probably 12, 13 years old, looking through Dirt Wheels magazine and seeing the little like all the different products that people sell and the tire section. I remember seeing Four Snows on there.
Same.
And I was like, I actually had a set of those when I was younger, and I put them on one of my fours because I like to snow ride.
Same. Did a lot of snow riding, and it's a big grass drag tire. Big grass drag tire.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of a game that we have to play with our sponsors because they contribute so much to our program. And, but, honestly, I was like, I'm going to give these things a shot. And man, they were great up to start. Rip some starts.
So this is the thing. I was assuming they were going to be really, really good in a straight line. I just didn't know if they were going to be where they needed to be side bite wise.
Yeah. Like side bite, like there was so much flex and just movement with that tire. We actually put some tire balls in it too.
Okay.
And that helped it. But man, just the bounce of that tire was incredible. And it was scaring the crap out of me. It wasn't like, obviously it wasn't bad, early on, like Saturday, and it progressively just kept getting worse. And like, I remember the last moto. I mean, it beat me up so bad. I was so exhausted after the first moto. I'm like, okay, like I got to re-rack it again. And I remember going through that last moto and I was like, okay, I look and I see that there is still 8 minutes left to go plus 2 laps. And I'm just like, I need somebody to tag me in, like tag me out, like tag team. Like I need somebody to switch on my machine because I am just in a bad place right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like, I remember like when we were out testing with Max, I was doing like some 30s and stuff, feeling really good. And I'm just like, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And like, talking with like even Kevin Sarr, it's like, man, I'm running like 10 and a half, 11 inches ride height on my machine. And I'm like, yeah, I'm running like 8 inches and 8.5,
which would be unheard of here.
Yes. It'd be a huge ass there.
Yes.
Here in the States. And then, like, I feel like we reset, we go back in a week, we get the right shock lengths. And even if it's not right, I think we'd be
closer.
Yes, very close and be able to be competitive, racing up front. But, that's just the beauty of it. That race, everything has to go right to win. And if it doesn't, it makes your life so hard. And I've never had so many issues at events what that event brings. It is tougher than we ever make it look on paper. It's way more difficult than that.
I'm a firm believer in that, not that I wanted, Team USA to lose any of these things, but these crappy days will definitely make us appreciate the good ones. So, there was a very much, at least with fans, not at all with the team, but with fans, it's like, well, of course we won, or, we're supposed to win or whatever. And I know that within the team and you guys, that's not it at all. Like there's massive respect for the event, the tracks, the travel and everything that goes into that. And then obviously the competitors. And so I would assume that, going forward, we're not going to take these things as lightly as fans. Some of the people that live on the internet are not going to take it as lightly when Team USA goes to Europe for the Quadcross of Nations. But yeah, so I'm assuming, Chad, we can't talk about you potentially shaking down another multi-time champions machine leading up to the event. I'm assuming we can't talk about that.
We can just say that I was the guy they asked to shake down his machine to make sure it was okay.
Yeah.
I rode it for a lap with 18-inch tires on the loosest sand track I've ever ridden.
Okay.
The thing, like, I felt like I had to ride it around in like third gear the whole time to like not get stuck, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
Because it was super loose. But yeah, Jim was a mechanic there. He trusted me, and you couldn't feel a damn thing for how loose it was. But
gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's just the things you do for your team and your teammates. But even touching on that, like, Joel, like And I told Joel at the end of the race, like I could tell that he was just bummed and stuff like that. And, I was actually like, I was actually, I wasn't bummed. I was like you said, I was okay because I knew that I gave it everything that I had.
Mm-hmm.
I did not quit. I raced basically I had to race away the demons in my head for the last freaking 12 minutes of that race because I was just in the pain cave.
Right.
And I was just like, I was pumped that, we fought our butts off to try and get back into it to win it. And, I think that's all that we can be happy about that. And like you said, we're going to appreciate the wins even more because I remember the first time we won it, the party that we threw, all this and all that, and how excited we were. And now it's kind of like status quo. Everybody's kind of loading up, head to the airport, expecting that win. And I think this is kind of a wake up call to the team to be like, hey, let's enjoy these things, that much more because they don't come that easy.
No, everybody else at the event doesn't want to see you guys win it,
Yeah.
They love having you there, but they don't want Team USA to win.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
It's pretty special. So kind of in the European realm, and I know you had hinted, at potentially doing more of those races yet in the future and stuff like that. On the last episode, Harv had mentioned that there's an MXGP ATV World Championship coming, and he, hinted at the fact that you were approached to potentially be a part of this thing or potentially show up at one of these or whatever the case may be. So, can you speak on that at all? What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, they definitely approached me about that. And, Harv, he was like, hey, like they're planning to do this and they're planning to have a world championship. And I'm like, that's cool. Like, this could be something fun that I would like, dabble with. Cause I still want to like race and have fun and enjoy, but like, I don't want to be dedicated to like you said, like 10 race weekends a year. I want to do just, so many and do like bucket list events. And that's kind of like what I'm working on going forward. But, it'd be a cool opportunity. I did speak with them. I have not seen like a complete schedule just yet, but like, I'm not saying I'm definitely not going to do the whole series, but I would entertain doing an event and cool. Working with a couple of my friends that I have overseas to work with. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, no, it's definitely something that could happen, but we'll see.
That's cool. Even that you're just possibly open to it is a cool thing and an exciting thing.
Yeah.
It's cool to think about the guys in Europe having a true world championship, like the MXGP is for the bikes. Thought is that they're trying to mimic that for the quad. So that's a cool thing.
It's a good thing. And, like going back to like even like the nations, like these riders over there are getting much, much stronger. They're elevating their game. And, I'm actually happy for them to get a win because like, I think it's going to keep their fan base, like charging forward, being like, we got a piece of the Americans. That's great. And, it's going to charge us to want to be the best, keep bettering ourselves too. So sure. It's all a good thing for everybody. Yeah. It's one to take on the chin, but it's, it's, you got to put it all together to win it. So.
Yeah, should be exciting in 2026 and beyond. Yeah. And some new life on the team is going to be a thing too. That'll be fun to see. So Chad, I got a few questions here, and I don't want to make this episode a marathon, so it doesn't need to be like a crazy in-depth kind of thing for these answers. But I got a few questions that I thought would be fun to ask you now because maybe they're questions that I wouldn't have asked you during your career. Some stuff that whether it's insight to behind the scenes stuff or talking about your mentality or the way you think. Stuff like that. So we'll hammer on these and get you out of here before I take up your entire night here. The first one I want to start with is the cost of greatness. So looking back, what did being a multi-time champion cost you personally, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, that fans would have never seen?
I would say like the biggest thing is like, I live in a small town, lot like there's like everybody knows everybody. And the times that we had, in high school and stuff like that, and where like friends go off and do other things. And I think that was the biggest cost where like I was my thing was to, instead of going to college, I was going racing. And, like you met so many other friends away from home, and then, you didn't have as close of friendships here at home. So I'm like, it's kind of like now I am like, not necessarily restarting those, but I'm refiring those friendships back up because, they haven't been so close because of just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's one of the biggest costs. And obviously like your body takes a toll, but, like honestly, I feel great, as a person. I don't wake up, beaten and sore. I mean, I think the key to me, going forward is going to be keeping moving and continue to, be good to my body and try to keep it healthy. And I think having my kids are going to help me, chase them around and
stay young.
Yeah. And my son's really into football and he enjoys that. And even when it's cold and snowy here, I have my garage and it's big enough that we throw a football back and forth and, nice. Being able to do that. So I think that's going to be key to me feeling good moving forward.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think a lot of people can probably relate to a lot of what you just said, including the friend thing, where I feel, even I can speak for myself too. It's like your friends are scattered throughout the United States. I don't have as many close friends here because like all my people with my similar interests were, people we connected with at the races and staying at the racetracks and stuff. Okay. So next one, Chad, the season that haunts you. So is there a race, a season, or a decision that still replays in your mind, something that you wish would have went differently or something along those lines, even though you had so much success? Is there anything that you still think about to this day, wishing something would have went different?
Yeah. I mean, there would have been a few, but honestly, it led me to where I'm at today.
2011?
Yeah, 2011. And I think that it could have changed my path
for sure
of where I'm at today. So, but I think, my crash in 2024, I think that one really kind of put the dagger to my like killer instinct, and it really hit home to where, hey, like you got more to life than, just sitting, riding this machine. But that brought me to, a beautiful ending to my career. So it's like, yeah, you wish that those things didn't happen, but it led me to where I'm at and very proud of it. So
you should be. Should be perfect ending. So, okay. Almost kind of a similar thought to this one, but fear, doubt, pressure. So at the peak of your dominance, what scared you the most? Was it losing? Was it getting hurt? Or was it no longer being the guy that was, being chased by everybody else?
Yeah, I think it was definitely the fear of like losing and not being that top guy. Mm-hmm. But I think that really pushed me to basically not surrender to that, like still being that guy. But I never had much fear of getting hurt until after, my accident in 2024.
Yeah.
Then it really kind of was like, yeah, I don't want to be around people. I just want to ride by myself.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's fair. That was kind of what I thought you were going to say there based on your previous comments here in this conversation. We'll get right back to the show, but now a word from our sponsors. And thank you for listening to these ads. Without these great companies, none of this would be possible. Show your support for the people who support us. The official tire choice of Digging Deep, CST tires are the choice of ATV racing's elite on the track, in the woods, and every other terrain. CST tires swept the ATV racing world in 2022 as Joel Hetrick, Bryson Neal, and Bo Barron rode their Pulse MXR and Pulse HT tires to an ATV Pro Motocross title, GNCC XC1 Pro title, and 10th ATV Pro Works Racing title, respectively. Led by champion Joel Hetrick and podium contenders Bryce Ford, Jeffrey Restrelli, and Nick Janusa, CST's Pulse MXR tire is the most trusted tire in ATV motocross today. Available in soft and standard compounds, the Pulse MXR offers the highest level of traction, most predictable cornering, and superior wear characteristics when compared to the competition. And did I mention they have a contingency program as well? Visit shop.csttires.com to join the CST takeover today, or prepare to be beat by someone who did. The best of the best choose CST. Do you? You know we're Team Blue Crew here at the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, as the Yamaha YFZ 450R is the official ATV of Digging Deep. In a move started by 8-time ATVMX Pro Class National Champion Chad Wienen, who with his next championship will become the winningest champion in ATV Motocross history, we are living in ATV Racing's YFZ 450R era. Alongside Wienen, 7-time GNCC XC1 Pro ATV National Champion Walker Fowler welcomed a pair of new champions to the Yamaha Champions Club, as the podium-proven Yamaha YFZ 450R proved to be the winning choice for Joel Hetrick and Bryson Neal. This unprecedented success for the YFZ 450R, its unrivaled quality and performance, and the clear fact that Yamaha is a leading OEM supporter of ATV racing has resulted in a complete Yamaha takeover within the sport quad market. Evident by the continuation of Yamaha's Blue Crew Racer Support Program, Yamaha riders will once again cash in on payout and prize opportunities in 2023, including a chance to win a brand new YFZ 450R. For more info, head over to YamahaBlueCrew.com. Follow Yamaha Outdoors, as well as the new Blue Crew official channel on social media, and check out Yamaha's full proven off-road lineup at YamahaOutdoors.com today. SSI Decals, your way. SSI Decals sets the standard with the best looking decals, graphics kits, and vinyl wraps in the industry. Established in 1947, SSI took shape as an offshoot of their parent company by doing a little work for local pro Chad Wienen. Nearly 2 decades later, and fueled by a passion for ATVs, the company has flourished into one of ATV Moto's most recognized brands. From ATV Motocross, SSI has expanded into graphics and design work for top racers in GNCC, Works Racing, Pro Motocross and Supercross, Off-Road, and more, headlined by 8-time world champion Top Fuel drag racer Clay Milliken. Whether your project is big or small, SSI Decals will make your identity stick. Get started today at SSIDecals.com and use code DIGGINGDEEP10 for 10% off at checkout. Things are about to get sick. The Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast is brought to you in part by DID and their wide range of championship-winning chains. From the street to the track and everywhere in between, DID chains are designed to give you the optimal riding experience with great performance and increased chain life. Consistent to the core, pick up your box of reliability today. DID, what drives you? For over 150 years, Valvoline has been dedicated to constant improvement and innovation across all disciplines of racing. As a proud member of Team Valvoline for nearly a decade, I have witnessed their unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of performance. Valvoline has sponsored some of the greatest names in motorsports, solidifying their position as a powerhouse within the industry. Being a part of this historically great team has been an incredible privilege. When it comes to my equipment, whether it's my daily commuting vehicles, race quads, or anything in between, I trust nothing but Valvoline. Their range of products and lubricants consistently deliver increased horsepower, durability, and engine life. I'm excited to announce Valvoline's breakthrough in performance, Valvoline Ultimate Power Sports. With up to 8 times stronger rust protection and 50% better wear protection, this cutting-edge formula ensures your ATV's engine runs smoother and longer for the ultimate ride. Tackle rugged terrains with confidence, knowing your ATV's engine is equipped with the best protection available. Ready to experience the next level of performance? Head over to shop.valvolineglobal.com and use code DIGGINGDEEP10 at checkout to unlock an exclusive 10% off on your purchase. Don't miss out on this limited time offer to enhance your ATV's performance with Valvoline's Ultimate Power Sports engine oil.
Hey everyone, this is Larry Mills, president of DP Brakes North America and proud partner of the Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast. We at DP Brakes are a longtime supporter of ATV racing and the world leader in sintered brake technology, dominating the ATV world for decades by supporting the best four-wheel racers on the planet. This year's lineup includes Jeff Rastrelli, Mark Baldwin and Baldwin Motorsports, Ford Brothers Racing, Nick Janusa, and many more, including Mr. Digging Deep himself, Cody Jansen, plus all the top 17 GNCC pros such as 7-time champion Walker Fowler, Bryson Neal, Hunter Hart, Cole Richardson, Jared McClure, Adam McGill, and previous champion Chris Borich. These top riders continue to appreciate the high performance and impressive durability that their DP brakes have to offer, products that ultimately help place them on top of the podium week after week. DP brakes are available through www.dp-brakes.com, or you can purchase them through your local Parts Unlimited stocking dealer, or you can even message us, myself, Larry Mills, or DP Brakes on Instagram or Facebook. And if you have any questions about product or sponsorship support, please ask us. We are waiting for you. Join the best ATV riders in the world equipped with DP brakes, and have a great year, everyone.
Headlined by their 4130 chromoly, Launderville Steel and Concrete Supply is a full-service steel supplier of new and surplus steel, aluminum, and stainless steel products. This racing family-owned full metal service center and concrete product supplier comes with over 30 years of experience serving the entire United States from their central Midwest location. As the number one choice for nationwide shipments and with available next-day delivery in select areas, LSE has you covered near or far. 4130 is not just the chromoly tubing and plate used in the building of chassis for an array of motorsports applications, but it is also the name of the newest addition to the pro paddock with riders Jaden JJ Launderville and Max Lindquist, introducing the new 4130 Motorsports team. Launderville Steel offers a large selection of material for any project, including their concrete division that can supply everything you need to complete your next business or personal project. For a quote or more info, visit laundervillesteel.com today or give them a call at 715-675-6193. That's 715-675-6193. With a desire to keep you in the race, Ultimate Poly Products offers the Ultimate Protection collection of case savers, chain sliders, intake manifolds, and more. Founded on quality in 1998, this family-owned and operated business produces products created by racers for racers. These industry-leading products are proudly made and manufactured in the USA, with their case savers being made of the highest quality American-made polyurethane on the market and designed to completely conform to your engine case to help prevent case damage from a thrown chain, because no one wants to be a spectator on race day. Join top pro riders like Bryson Neal, Walker Fowler, John Glotta Jr., Adam McGill, Cole Richardson, and more by using UPP Racing products. Use discount code DIGGINGDEEP15 at uppracing.com to save on your next order. Ultimate Poly Products, made to last longer so you can ride more. Thanks for listening, and remember to support our partners. Now back to the show. So next one, rivals and respect. So who pushed you harder than anybody else during your career? And is there a rival that you wish you would have had more battles with at full strength?
Oh man. I think probably like my first rival would have been John Natale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had some gnarly battles. He just had that, I call that veteran racecraft, and the way that he rode, he made you scared to ride around him. Mm-hmm. And not want to take too many chances around him. And when you passed him, you had to pass him fast and get away from him.
Yeah.
And then, I wish I had more battles with like Doug, like he was at the latter part of his career.
Yeah. When
we did that. And then racing against Timmy Farr, I only had so many races with him, him being my hero and all. But, Joel Hetrick pushed me to, my ultimate limits, brought the best out of me. Yeah. And I know that if I didn't have that, that strong, basically drive to win and have that push to win from him, mm-hmm. that I just don't think I would have enjoyed racing as much as I do, as long as I did, because that's what made it fun, was knowing that somebody's there pushing you to your max and you win the day, that that you're the best guy, and nobody gave it to you, you had to earn it.
You mentioned the two guys that I knew would be mentioned, and I knew the answer had to be Joel. Your careers will forever be synonymous with each other. Mm-hmm. But I knew that Natale would definitely get mentioned as well, because prior to that, that rivalry being real strong with Joel, it was with John.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the very beginning, like that, or not the very beginning, but the beginning of this era for you, with that pass on him at Aonia in 2012 on the last lap for the win. Yeah. And it was almost like I don't want to say a changing of the guard because, you had beaten him and all those things, but you hadn't won a championship yet. And it was like, there was this, I'm back. This is a new me. This is my series now. And that's the way it felt for me then. And obviously, there was contentious moments probably before that with him and after that with him. But
Yeah.
those were the two names I knew were going to be mentioned there for sure.
Yeah. And like you said, like I hadn't actually done it. And that's a race that started it all and gave me belief that I was going to do it. So like you said, that was a spark that sparked it all, that crazy streak that I had. And, to lose, basically to be like one of the fastest guys and not win championships was like a dagger. Like you're like, you got the speed, you got this, you got that, but you don't have it over 10 races,
Yeah.
So to finally like put that together and like you said, it was like a changing of the guard.
So Chad, you went from being the James Stewart that couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
That could just be the fastest guy, the never lift Wienen, the wide open guy. And that couldn't get it done for the series. And then you turned into the, not one, not two, not three, not four. Yeah. That's what you turned into. It was crazy. But, and we've talked about this before, so I don't gotta waste any breath on this, but there was definitely feeling leading up to that event in 2012, first event of the year, where you're coming out on this Yamaha. And I mean, there was a flash with Thomas on the Yamaha a little bit, but like there was definitely feeling outside of your camp, outside of Walsh, outside of, your program, that it was like, can he really do it on a Yamaha? And then obviously to see the legendary run. And now, all these years later, Yamaha has every bit of the market share. What a cool journey that has been for you and the Yamaha brand too, man.
Yeah.
Like if we were sitting here in 2011 and you would have said, hey, in 2025, Chad Wienen is still racing. He's still winning and he won 8 championships on a Yamaha and now everybody's on a Yamaha. Like you could never wrap your head around that.
No. And like, kind of going back to like the whole thing with John and racing that first race and, the whole program has to come together correctly to win a championship. Like you can't have glitches, throughout your year. And being on this Yamaha and what it's done for me, my family, and the confidence in riding a machine and not having to worry about, man, if I push it too hard, I'm gonna break this thing, that all went away. But it was also like a perfect storm where I was so, what would you call it? Like bitten, like snake bitten in the past of losing championships. It all created this perfect storm where I'm out there managing races, winning when I need to and winning championships where I was out there and I would just have this one race, 2 races throughout the season that would keep me out from winning championships, and being on the Yamaha and learning those mistakes, kind of it all came to fruition.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love reliving those races and those memories for sure. So, okay. Advice you would never give mid-career. So now that you're done racing, what advice would you give a young pro that you would have never given before? I'm sure we could ask Max too. I'm sure he would have some great insight into what you told him as his professional career unfolded. But what would you be able to say now that maybe you wouldn't have said earlier about advice that you'd give now that you're not lining up with these guys?
Man, that's a good question. You got to love it. You got to love everything about it. You got to love the motos, the dog days in summer, the cold days of riding where you can't feel your hands at times, the days of training, waking up sore, getting on the machine. You got to love everything about it, because if you don't, and you don't learn to enjoy the pain that you go through to ultimately get to the top level, and I don't think that you need to be, necessarily in it to achieve that goal. And it's something that you necessarily don't know at the beginning, but you learn to love all those things, because that's what I'm gonna probably miss the most about racing in general, is the days of grinding, of like training and being on the machine and having your friends alongside of you, like doing it with you. But And then like going through that day and just let's say your training partner is going through hell and you're just putting time on them throughout the day, it makes it easy. And you're still pushing and you know how much the other person's suffering, but you're like, this isn't that bad. Like I got more.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the days where it's like, that's what I'm going to miss so much. And Max can, like you said, Max can probably contest to that. Thomas can contest to that, where they like, even Thomas, like he knew he enjoyed riding so damn much that I had to tell him to like, you need to chill out. Don't ride today, but I think he got to the point where it was more of like a business to him and work instead of enjoying the riding. And
Gotcha.
like for me, I just loved everything about it. Like, even though you went through like grinding days and on the phone with sponsors, doing this, doing that, washing the rig, loading up, doing all this, driving back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though there were days that I didn't like, but I still loved the whole process, and I think that's what you got to learn to be able to love it. And I think if you do, I think good things will happen.
You gotta love it and love all of it. And you gotta have people around you that also like low key love it, because if Danica wasn't all in on it, it wouldn't work.
Yeah. She loves it because I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
She could care, not necessarily care less if she goes back to a track, but it's got to be one heck of an occasion to get Danica Wienen back to a track.
Gotcha.
She's never been so like complete as well, with my being complete. Yeah.
I hear you. All right. Identity after racing. So for so long, you were Chad Wienen, the racer, the 8-time champ, the ATV Motocross god. Who are you excited or nervous to become now that racing isn't your only identity anymore?
I think like the biggest thing, my identity is going to be, the father of my kids and the husband to my wife. And I'm still going to be involved in racing with our business, Wienen Motorsports. And then also going to be like, I'm already stepping into that spot, being an ambassador for Yamaha and, working with some other sponsors in that direction, still having fun, doing some events and bucket list events that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And that'll be a smooth transition to full-time, like Chad Wienen, the racer, to being, Chad Wienen, like still a part of the racing, but not necessarily being all in, because, I've done this for over 20 plus years of my life, and to basically stop and move away from it, I think it's going to be super, super difficult on me, and I'd struggle with that. But, I've been joking around with Danica, and she knows it too, but she doesn't know exactly what she wants to do next. But I'm like, Danica, like, you pick what you would like, what you've been wanting to do, and I'm going to be your backbone and your help to get to where you want to go. And, I could see myself being a coach for my kids, teams that they want to play on, and, having that freedom. And, like yes, I will have to like find ways to, continue with the job, but it's not like a job that I'm going to have to be like, I have to clock in every single day, exactly. It can be a job that I can, kind of pick and choose, but, I think I've worked super hard to be able to do that. And, but I have some good plans with some riders going up ahead. I have a couple of guys that I coach now, and I might open up to coaching a few more. And then, having like, I've created this thing where, riders come and they race here in the US, and to house people to come from anywhere to come and ride, even here in the US, to, to try racing and run under a good program that they know that is a good program to ride for.
Yeah. And that's why I said, it's not your only identity anymore, because you're always going to be Chad Wienen. You're always going to be involved in ATV racing. I get all that. But I thought it'd be interesting to hear, what your thoughts are.
And, I'm going to be busy. I got another baby on the way. So I'm going to have, thank you. So that's going to be, I've always joked around with Danica, like, hey, like when I retire, I'm going to take over the kids. And she's like, no way. Like I've done all the hard stuff, got them, out of diapers. And then I'm like, well, looks like we're going to start back over. So I'm going to take this one and you go chase what you want to chase. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Credit to you, man. Yeah. Congrats. But okay, last one here. And this is a big one. So your one sentence legacy, if you could write the final line of your own career story, what would it say?
Legendary.
Well, you nailed that, man. Mm-hmm. That was already done. And then the way you ended it, man, it was about as legendary as it gets in my mind.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Well, Danica came up with the tagline of 8 championships, 1 legacy.
I love that.
Yeah.
I've said it so many times, and I love telling your story, and I love every facet of your story, from being and Mark said it too, when he was on here talking about the, heavy set football player trying to race the pro class on an ATV, and then factory Suzuki, and then Kawasaki and Can-Am and getting hurt, and then the Yamaha run, and then to end it all these years later with a win in your last event. There's never going to be another story like Chad Wienen's story. And it's been so fun because, obviously Digging Deep has just been a small thing here at the end of your career, but it has been so fun to be able to cover. And we've even went back and covered some of the old stuff while you're still racing and, all these years removed from that. But it's been so fun to be able to talk about your career and have this towards the end of it. And because I just think about all the things that you've shed light on in the conversations we've had and the knowledge you've given out, and just so much invaluable and fun content that you've created here on my show. And I don't know if we'd have all that if it wasn't for, you being so open to doing this with me and all these conversations and all the time spent, chatting with me. I'm just so grateful that we have this, I guess, like all these files, all this conversation will live on forever. And I'm so glad that we have that, because prior to that, there wasn't tons of these conversations with guys like you. But yeah, absolutely legendary is something that will live on for forever. And I'm so glad that we have some of this conversation here on the show, man, because it's a pretty cool thing that I cherish, because I've said umpteen times that, you're a big part of why Digging Deep exists. And it's been a pretty fun ride for sure.
Yeah, man. I'm floored to hear it. It's been great. Yeah, no, I'm glad you took the step of, digging deep, and proud to see that, we basically, the riders have a place to go to speak and to let you know what you're feeling, and, a lot of in-depth things that go on behind the scenes. And and I think one note I want to say to everybody is hey, our sport is special. Everybody's got to do things to make it great and to continue to make it great. Have that camaraderie, and everybody know why we do this. It's because we love it. And, you want to see everybody go out there and give everything they got and see the best racing. And, I'm hoping to be a part of, the next chapter for other people, and try and help them get to where they want to be. And I want to see other riders, achieve their best out of them, and continue to see our sport grow. And so let's all be great people out there and enjoy each other this holidays and show the love.
What a great way to end it. And I said this you weren't at the banquet, but I said this at the banquet too, in a room full of people, all there to celebrate ATV racing, all there because we love ATV racing, and all the people listening to the show now, you can say the same thing. We are what makes the sport as good as it is or bad as it is. And we're all the people that are keeping the sport alive. So the good, the positive, all those things to build up the sport. Can we be positive beacons of the sport, on the internet, instead of the opposite of that? And again, credit to all the people listening to these shows and riding ATVs and, being happy and posting and racing hard and all those things about ATVs. But it takes all of us to keep this thing going in a positive way,
Definitely.
That being said, you grew, not as a 8-year-old boy, but as a 16-year-old boy or whatever, you were an ATV racer. And I'm so glad that at 40 for you and at 30 something for me, we can still love ATV racing. We still have places to go to still race ATVs. Like instead of, oh, geez, man, the sport's not what it was like in 2006. Well, who cares? Like the people right now that are racing ATVs don't know what it was like in 2006. Like this is their, like 15 years or 20 years from now, there will be people like, man, remember that year in 2025, we raced the ATV Nationals. Those were the best days of our lives. Let people have that. Let people have that. Don't tell them what it used to be like. Like we know that 2006 was great, but 2025 is great too, because we still got a place to race. And so you're hitting the nail on the head, that it's all about being positive and all those things. But Chad, so last thing I got for you. So you talked about, at least online, you mentioned it a little bit here, Wienen Motorsports obviously still going strong. You got a new motor program situation. You even, I think, prefaced that a little bit on the last time that we talked. So you got that going on. And what's next for you as far as like, I mean, I don't think we're going to see a lineup at Walnut or anything like that, but are you going to, like, is there riding in Florida in the wintertime that goes on, or, what do you got planned for yourself?
Yeah, I'll be heading back to Florida, working with, obviously Andrex Buellen and Max. So I'll be working closely with them, and I'll be riding with them as well, here and there, not necessarily every single day, but continue to work with them. And then I'll also be preparing. We're pretty dang close to being everything nailed down to do the Enduro del Verano back in Argentina.
Okay,
so
cool. You've done that back before, right?
Yep, I've done that before. That's been my favorite event that I've ever done, and I've been telling the people in Argentina that I'm coming back, and that's my goal, to go back there, take the whole family, and go for about 11 days there, and so I'll be preparing for that. Be riding Troom Life a lot, I think, preparing for that event.
Nice.
But yeah, I won't be lining up at Sunset. I mean, I'm not going to race in pro there at least, but I'll be there to help Bob and Jan, the Pistol family with that event. And I got some good ideas that we're brewing for that event as well.
Cool.
And, I'll be at events. I don't know how many just yet, but I'll definitely be around. I probably won't be racing them necessarily, but I'll be there to coach and, basically help. I mean, even our business, Wienen Motorsports, be the face there and be there for our riders.
Awesome. I love that. I knew that would probably be the answer, but wanted to give you a last chance to drop some little nuggets on what's next and all those things. So, Chad, I've said it up and down, and I'll say it again. What a phenomenal guest you've always been to me. I'm so grateful for you. You've always given me your time and all those things. I'm so grateful to be able to call you a friend and to have this avenue to chat with you the last 6 or 7 years here on the show. So you're a legend. You're my GOAT. I've told you that a few times now. I just want to congratulate you on one of the gnarliest careers anybody could ever have imagined. And what a perfect way to send yourself off into a retirement with a win. So I've been looking forward to this conversation, chatting about the last win there and all the things to wrap up what was an incredible doesn't even do it justice, the career that you had. So congrats one more time on your walk-off win, pal. You're the best, and grateful for you for sure.
Yeah. Cody, man, appreciate it a lot. It's like I said, it's been one heck of a ride, and I've enjoyed even the good times and the bad, and it's good. I'm glad to be a part of the ATV Racing Nation, and this is not necessarily goodbye, but to the next chapter. So we'll see everybody around.
Yeah, I love it, Chad. We will definitely have you back on the show for sure. Like, I'm sure we'll find some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I'll be on.
But for now, Chad, thanks for everything. You're the man, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right, appreciate it, Cody.
Awesome, man. Happy holidays to you and the family, pal.
Yeah, man. You too. Thanks.
Appreciate it. You're the man. That's Chad Wienen signing off on the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast, brought to you by DID Racing Chain and their ATV2 X-Ring chain. See you, pal. Have a good night.
Thanks.
I think Mikey Walsh said it best after the release of part 1. Chad Wienen is truly a champion's champion. To have one of the greatest riders of all time not only join us, but become a regular voice on our show is something I'll never take for granted. This latest conversation was a privilege, like they all have been, and I'm incredibly grateful for the trust and the openness Chad has always shown us. This isn't the end, but it is the closing of one of the greatest chapters in the history of ATV motocross. Bravo, Mr. Wienen. Congrats on a GOAT level career. And thank you for being so good to Digging Deep from day one, episode 1 to present. You truly are the best. Thank you to all of our partners, CST Tires. Go to shop.csttires.com today. Yamaha, thanks to Blue Crew. Thanks to SSI Decals, Valvoline, DID Racing Chain, Launderville Steel Enterprises and Concrete Supply, DP Brakes, Impact Solutions, and Ultimate Poly Products, UPP Racing. Use code DIGGINGDEEP15 at uppracing.com. Support all the brands that support our show, and don't forget to use those codes to save. Find it all on our website, and be sure to click that Rocky Mountain ATVMC banner for all your gear and parts needs and to help us out. And most of all, thanks to you guys for listening. Shop our Digging Deep merch at shop.diggingdeepatvmx.com. Find all things Digging Deep ATV Fantasy related at atvfantasy.com. Prize draft is just about to kick off. We mentioned that on the last episode as well. We are just days away, if not even sooner, from kicking off our 2025 prize draft for our top 20 finishers in ATV Fantasy from 2025. So stoked about that. And actually, one note that I didn't mention already, Chad and I talked about a schedule for that World Championship. That schedule is now out. So if you're interested in that, there's a lot of races on there, more than I probably expected. So that full schedule is on our Digging Deep social channels. So check that out if you are interested in that, the World Championship. You can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show, 920-569-3519. If you're looking for another easy way to help support us, visit our website and click the Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee buttons. This allows you to set up a one-time or monthly contribution to support our efforts. Follow the show on social media, Digging Deep ATVMX Podcast, and myself, Cody Jansen, for additional content, coverage, and more fun stuff, as we have, like I said on the last episode, a lot of fun stuff ahead here in this off season. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and more. Wherever you find podcasts, you will find the Digging Deep ATVMX podcast. All episodes, additional podcast providers, sponsor links, and discount codes, show merchandise, fantasy info, and more can all be found on our website, diggingdeepatvmx.com. So check that out today. Be a friend, tell a friend. Please download, subscribe, rate, review, and share. And with that, for Chad Wienen, Brooke Jansen, Dallas Jansen, and I'm your host, Cody Jansen. Thanks for listening to and making us the most listened to podcast in ATV racing, with nearly 293,000 downloads last month in 141 total countries. Until next time, thanks for joining us in Digging Deep with the Stars of ATV Motocross. Things are crashing and burning here at the Digging Deep podcast, much like the Titanic.
Those guys were hauling ass, for real.
I remember watching Doug Gus, I don't know who it was, Steel City, running the same times Friday afternoon as James Stewart was on Sunday back then. It was mental. I've never seen quads go that fast.
Quad leaders are freaking nice.